Hi, mythology students. This week we start our final section of myths and mythology, and we're turning more towards humans, um, mostly humans. We're going to talk about Buddha, we're going to talk about Jesus. They were human, although they have other aspects to them as well. But for a large portion of the mythology of heroes is the mythology of humans who are given tasks or who are asked to do things that aren't within their ordinary worlds. This is not just a normal thing that someone does. So when a character in a myth is asked to do that sort of thing, it is interesting to note that over thousands of years, most of those stories have followed the same kind of pattern. Maybe not exactly, but many of them fit really well into what we now call the hero's journey. And Joseph Campbell, who's the author of one of your textbooks, is very, very well known for his work on the hero's journey. And he has this fantastic book called The Hero with a Thousand Faces, where he basically outlines the pattern that he sees in all of these hero stories. And it's a circular pattern. This week is going to be about introducing the pattern and what the general shape of it is and what the general stages are. When you think about hero journeys that fit with this model, sometimes they fit completely, like they just snap right into place. But sometimes they skip a step or they sort of bounce back and forth between a couple of steps before moving on. That's fine. This is just a general architecture to the monomyth, right? This big unifying myth. That's a Joseph Campbell word. This week is going to be devoted to just seeing that pattern in depth. I cover it in kind of a nutshell in one of my Brit Lit classes. Beowulf, when we study Beowulf, but also when we study Sir Gawain, some of the old English poetry is very clearly hero and hero's journey. But this time we're going to cover it pretty detailed. You've got some reading this week and next week in your textbooks. Next week, you also have a reading that's posted here on Moodle, which is from that other Joseph Campbell book that I mentioned, The Hero with a Thousand Faces. So we'll build the structure this week, and then in the coming couple of weeks, we will use the circular hero's journey and all the phases around it as a lens to look at all of these different myths. So like Beowulf and Theseus and Perseus and Jesus and Buddha. Um, there's a lot. There's a lot of hero myths. We'll also look at some modern day hero mythologies. Many, many, many of our television shows and movies and books that are written in the modern period are also heroes' journeys. As a bit of a preview, The Wizard of Oz is very much a hero's journey. Dorothy follows pretty precisely the hero's pattern that Joseph Campbell uses. So this week we're going to establish the pattern. Be ready to take notes. Be ready to look at the handouts and the videos that I've posted below, where we're going to dive in and look at heroes. Have a good week.